Welcome everybody, welcome to my channel. You are watching a news talk show brought to you by Ask Zhang, the Chinese and English bilingual. In this video, we will talk about the notorious, the infamous one-child policy of China. It is, in my opinion, it is excessive. China already they have dropped the one-child policy. Instead, right now we have this two-child policy. But in my opinion, you should let the people decide how many children they should have. It is part of the human rights, right? Unfortunately, the rules are still there, and in this video, it's a tragedy story. We are looking at 4 lives lost because of this one-child policy. This is a tragedy of Chinese characteristics. It gives me no pleasure to talk about this, but since this channel is about China, we cover everything happening in China. We try to be objective. We try to be 100. So whether it's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad, we have to cover it. In this video, now this news, it came out a few days earlier. I was flabbergasted when I saw it. Now I'm Chinese. I know this policy. I'm still flabbergasted by this news. I'm sure if you are a foreigner, if you are not familiar with China's situation, you will definitely be astonished. So, this guy, Wang Changsheng, he killed 3 family planning government workers when they tried to force him to have a surgery. Now I want to, in Chinese we call it 节育手术. You can call it birth control surgery, or you can call it contraceptive surgery.
Contraceptive.
So, when they took him to the hospital, this dude, he fought back, and he killed 3 and injured 1 with a hammer found in that car. So after that, he ran away. He fled for 17 years until recently, maybe last year, he was caught. And the verdict came out. He was sentenced to death penalty. And he has already been executed. Now, if you don't know China's one-child policy, I found a video on YouTube from time. Unfortunately, I couldn't play it for you because of copyright issue, but I will put a link here in the description box. It explains China's family planning rules quite accurately. So before, right now China has this kind of two-child policy. Before it's one-child policy 5 years ago. So now if it's not a strict one-child policy. If both the parents are single child, they can have 2. If one of the parent is ethnic minority, they could have two. If like two of the parents are both ethnic minorities, they may have more. So minority in China, actually they get special treatment better than Han Chinese in terms of this family planning thing. All right. But most of the Chinese, regular Chinese, they have to follow the rules. Han Chinese account for like maybe 95, 96, or even more. And so what happened when you break the law, or when you break the rule? It's not a rule. I think it's written in the law. So you have to pay a very large sum of fine. Not either. You have to pay, and your job, they will put you in a lower position. It will make it harder for you to get promotion if you work in the government. And when they find that you are about to have an unplanned child, they will order you. They will do their work to persuade you to have an abortion. Many people, they work for the government. So if they find that you're about to have a child, so they will threaten you with your job. So if you don't do like what they told you to do, you will probably have a hard time working in that organization, or you may lose your job over it. And they also use other tactics, like maybe like your family members. They work for government. They will find your family member and let him or her to persuade you to have abortion. So once the unwanted child, when I say unwanted, I have to put a quote unquote on it. So when the unwanted child is born, you also have to pay a very large sum of fine. They call it 社会抚养费. It means that society upbringing fee. When they say social upbringing fee, it gives you the idea that the child will be raised by the society, when actually, no, it's still raised by your parents. I think that they mean it is to suggest that this child is a burden to the society. It's unwanted. So, to upbring the child to an adult, it costs a burden to the society. So that's why the problem mean it is the society upbringing fee. And this fee, I just searched it. It's actually not a small amount of money. So the number, how much you have to pay for a quote unquote unwanted child, is different province by province. So the basis fee is the So the basis is the income of your family is the basis. Annually, a year. But different provinces, they have different policies. So like the province where I live in, Shandong province and Henan province, they will charge you 3 times of your family's annual income as the fine. So maybe, for example, last year your family earned 50,000 yuan. So you have to pay 3 times of that number, which is 150,000 yuan. It's not a small amount of money. you have more. Jiangsu province, they will charge you 4 times of that basis. The basis is your family's last year or annual income. The most highest is Liaoning. They charge you 5 or 10 times. So probably when you have an actual unwanted child, you have to pay the 5 or 10 times of your family income annually. The 5 or 10 times, 5 to 10 times your annual family income. The lowest is in Heilongjiang province. It's just one time of your last year family income or household income. Back to this news. So what tricks him? What made him to go so extreme? I also want you to pay attention to the details. Now, this brother, he already died. Nobody knows him in the English world. You can only find it in the Chinese media about this report. Now, it's not. Now, we have seen news like this before, like some about because of the death caused because of this family planning thing. I want you to pay attention to the details. Now, this newspaper, he got to you the details. Now, around the Chinese New Year in 2000 Wang Changsheng, which is the convict or the murder, and his wife moved out of their house to live with his wife's father. The reason why they moved out of their house is because they want to avoid family planning, because they are about to have another child. This year, in April 13th afternoon, so this family planning government workers, Mr. Liang, Mr. Lu, Mr. Wang, or Mr. Gao, the 4 people, they found him, found the husband, the wife. They talked to them, and the two they agreed to take the car and go back to Chenji town, which is the place that the husband resides, to have this birth control surgery. So the husband, he was seated in the last row of the car. The wife, he took his baby, seated on the deputy pilot position. The rest 4, they seated in the middle row. At the 18 o'clock, so Mr. Wang, he took the camera and hit the 4 people on the head. The car parked. These 3 people departed from the door, out of the door. However, Mr. Wang, he pursued them and continued to hit them on the head. After that, he hijacked the car and ran away. Later, the car broke down. He abandoned the car and fled. Now, what triggered him is that before this, he and his he and his wife, they couldn't get pregnant, so they adopted a girl. Later, they had their own daughter. Shortly before the murder, they had a second child, which is also a girl. He's less than a month. So his wife saw that the family planning personnel, they took his brother's TV. They confiscated his brother's TV. And also his wife said, because of they don't have a boy, it feels embarrassed. I'm not surprised by this. You probably will be surprised. In China, especially in the rural area, they always want a boy, so they will continue having children until they have a boy. Nowadays, it's better because having a boy actually is a burden to the family. When the boy grew up, when he's marrying somebody, he has to pay a lot of money. He has to buy the house. He has to buy the car. The car is okay, but the house is quite expensive. So now it's kind of a lot. It's more like a balanced. Some people they like girls, but some people they like boys. The witness, Mr. Chen, also said that the family planning workers, they took Wang Changsheng's father-in-law's TV and four-wheeled car. It's not a regular car. It's probably like a tractor. They took it away. They confiscated it. So before Wang agreed to go with these people and got on the car, he said that I want to go, but you have to return the TV and the four-wheeled car back to them. He also, Mr. Wang Changsheng, which is the murder, also said that this family planning workers, they took his grains, they damaged his house, they robbed his father-in-law, the TV, the four-wheel car. So the reason why he did this, he committed the murder on these three people, is because he is not happy. It's not happy is an easy word. He's angered by the way this family planning personnel, they did their work. So he was sentenced to the death penalty. And he's not right now. He's already executed. You know, also you have to pay attention to this. So because they are having a unwanted child, these family planning workers, they they destroyed his house. He wasn't living in his original house. He he moved to his father-in-law's house just to have the kid there. They saw that these people, they couldn't find him, so these family planning workers, they went to his address, his original address, and found that he wasn't there. They destroyed his house, and his house is connected to his third brother's house. So when they destroyed his house, they damaged his third brother's house. His third brother, the wife, had a quarrel and fought with these family planning workers. She was caught, and she had to pay the fine. So his third brother found him and complained about this. He said that his wife being in jail and being fined is all because of him. He wants him to pay this. So this is a Chinese tragedy. Now we have lost 4 lives, in my opinion, which is this is all could be avoided. Now this dude actually is not a law-abiding citizen. Not only he committed the crime that one, after he fled, he used another name, Li Wei, and this is his criminal record. He 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He stole stuff. He was sentenced 4 times. 2 years sentence, 1 year sentence, 1 year sentence, 2 years sentence. So even though he fled 17 years, he probably lived in the prison for like 5 years. So at that time they didn't know that he was the murderer. But recently they probably have this new technology, the DNA, the surveillance, all that. So they found that the so-called Li Wei is actually the Wang Changsheng, the murderer. Again, if you don't know about the China family planning, it affects everybody. It affects me. I'm not the only child. I'm the second child. When I was born in 1988, when I was in school, people always joke about each other. Like if you're the only child, you are okay. But if you are the second child, you are the third child. People always say that you are not wanted. You are excessive. We know it's a joke, but still. And also, a lot of people, not a lot of people, some people, they only had one child. But what happened when the one child unfortunately died during the upbringing? Now the parents, they couldn't have another child. So they don't have a child, so which is also a very embarrassing. It's like it's very tragedy thing for the parents, because in Chinese society, it's usually the kids who take care of their elders, not the society. Even though the family planning thing is very strict, but you do have I do have a lot of classmates. They have sisters, they have brothers. I would say that in my, I was born in 1988. At my time, when I was in primary school, in middle school, probably half of my classmates or schoolmates, they are the only child. Half, the rest half, they probably have a second child, a third child, a brother or sister, or two brothers or sisters. But later, after that time, I think after 1988, the family planning thing gets stricter. More and you will find more and more only one child in the household. So yeah, so if you are not, you want to look into more about China's one-child policy, this is another very useful video. I will put the link in the description box. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. I'm out.